Okay, so I'm here to present to you iTrack. It's a productivity tool for kids. A little bit about me, I'm Brenda. I'm a teacher turned UX designer. I'll be a lifelong educator, and I'm here to disrupt formal education. So the agenda, I'm gonna take you through the UX and UI process in order to show you how iTrack was birthed. So what's the problem? Our students have low motivation levels, as well as our teachers are busy and they're stressed. And what does that result in? Low achievement levels. Sorry guys, I'm nervous. Potential clients, because this isn't out yet, would be teachers, would be school districts, and it could be integrated into existing popular programs like Class Dojo and Nearpod. And I'm shaking. The goals of this, yeah, let's laugh. Let's all laugh together. I'm laughing. Okay, so the goals of this program is to motivate our students, engage them, make them more productive, and have success, because that's what we want. We want high school graduates that move on to do amazing things. Okay, our metrics will be adoption rates, getting teachers and schools to use this program, as well as observing the children's increased motivation and getting those district contracts, because that's how money can be made. I looked at my competitors out there, and there's a lot of productivity tools out there. Most of them say they're for kids, but they're not kid-friendly, number one. And the one that I aim to be like focuses on behavior and not their actual work. So I want to be up there with Class Dojo, which focuses on behavior, but I want to focus on the kids' work and their motivation. So I surveyed 197 teachers and interviewed teachers and students. And what I found was most of my respondents were upper elementary, that's 3rd through 5th. So that's where my target persona taught. And also, I'm nervous. And also, most had computers for their personal use, but it was kind of iffy with the technology they had available for their students, so that's why I chose to do a responsive website. That way it could be differentiated depending on the situation. 57% of the teachers believe that motivation had a great effect on student achievement. 64% were frustrated with the little to no effort their students put towards their work. And 55% were still using paper-based tools to help them be productive and track their work. So we have to change that. It's 2018. And only 11% believe that their students take ownership, and that's the problem. These kids are not being held accountable. So iTrack aims to make them have that accountability. So I interviewed, and there's some familiar faces, teachers, and also students, because I wanted both sides. A lot of these programs out there for kids are designed by adults, but they don't take account of the children that are using them. They don't ask their opinions on them. So some standout quotes. I combat the demotivation by having them see the bigger picture. I feel like if I wasn't there, it would be like, why are we doing this? So we want these kids to work even when the adult's not around. I make every assignment worth the same so they can take every assignment seriously. I actually got that from Christine. And it's easy for me to ask for help. I just raise my hand. But sometimes she's busy and I get frustrated. There's only one teacher, there's 28 kids, they all have needs and they're not being addressed. So how can we alleviate that? So I took all of these insights and I organized them into an Affinity Map, and some patterns that I noticed was all the teachers kept mentioning low motivation, low motivation. The kids kept saying their teachers are too busy. They understand that their teachers care, but they know they're busy. And kids' response to tech and incentives. My son was like, I like A's and B's, but I also like when you give me PS4 times. So how can we integrate both of those things? So that's where my target persona came in, Passionate Patrick. He's a veteran teacher. He has put aside his personal life for his career to make these children be successful. He spends long nights planning, trying to figure out how to get these kids excited about learning. His journey consists of really long days focused on the children. A standout quote that I included, I deal with students refusing to work, withdrawing, and aggression. They themselves are exhausted. Lack of follow-through makes them feel entitled. They feel like they don't get heard. So Patrick is frustrated because he feels like he can't provide enough for his students. So some opportunities to help Patrick and other teachers are allowing students to track their own work. The minute they become more accountable, that alleviates the teacher the teacher's stress and allows the teacher to be more available to them. Also, enable students to be able to self-monitor and let the teacher know if they need help. Because one thing teachers know is that you have kids tapping you, Ms. Matos, Mr. Patrick, and you can't get anything done. So we need to stop those interruptions. And a way for teachers to provide feedback to students quickly and efficiently. So my MVP must have a teacher-assigned workflow, visual growth, giving them points because they love points, and student self-monitoring. So I began my prototyping phase, and I went through the happy path. There's two happy paths. There's two user flows. There's a teacher user flow, and there's also the student user flow, which you'll see in a minute. On my lo-fi, though, the student flow was done through the teacher interface to account for those teachers that don't have the technology to put every kid on the program. 100% of the users were confused by some of the verbiage of the buttons, but all the teachers loved the ideas of students tracking their work. For the Midface, something happened. I tested some teachers, and they actually expressed to me that they would like to see the students log in on their own, have it open, and track it on their own. So I had to pivot and now create that student interface. And 100% of the teachers found it necessary and exciting. So I moved on to Hi-Fi, and when I looked at other visual competitors, they use bright colors. It's kids. They want bright, they want exciting. And when I showed them the mood board, the teachers the mood board, they said it was engaging, youthful, vibrant, fun, motivating, all the things that we want in a children's program. So I did 2 mock-ups. I actually liked the one in gray, but 100% of the users liked the one in green, and I was kind of upset, but it wasn't about me, and I'm not a teacher anymore, so I had to go with my user. So I kept working at it, trying to see how I could incorporate these bright colors, and 80% of the users tested liked the kind of green one better than the blue. So that's the route we took. Here's my style guide, and here are the components that made up the responsive site. And let's get into the prototype of iTrack. Ooh, of course. Hold on, I didn't go to the right page. Okay, so here's our login page. If you notice, there's a student button and a teacher button. We're logging in as a teacher first. So here's Mr. Wright's class. Here's his dashboard. Essentially, if a teacher has more than one class, they could manage more than one class. But right now, he only has the racers. So on the racers screen, there are all the little avatars. It's race cars. They're racing to complete all their work. All the students have points. They'll get excited when the teacher shows them, hey, look, India, superstar, she already got 4 points. Oh, come on, Yago, what's going on? You gotta step it up. If you notice that little red flag, you'll see in the student interface, the student can ask for help. Instead of getting up and interrupting the teacher will see Brenda needs help, and we'll address her when she has some freed up time. Please excuse that header. Envision was not my friend this summer. So the other part of the teacher interface is actually assigning the work. So which is cool because teachers can go in and it's kind of like their lesson plans, assign the work for the day. Here's math, here's ELA, science and homework. Oh man, I forgot to, I forgot to assign an assignment. Let's go in and add one. Let's add a math assignment. Go math, add it, now it's there and it'll show up on the student's interface. So now let's look at how that student interface looks real quick. So we're going to log in as Yago because he needs to complete some work. So this is the student side. This is what the students would see. So Yago's going to log in, and look, he's going to get so excited when he logs in. Yes, he's taken off to success. He only has 1 point, so we have to change that. So Yago completed his bell ringer. Okay, if Yago needed help, he would click I need help, but he completed it. Yay, Yago! Okay. And that is the side of the student interface. There's all the assignments, it's updated, the track is updated, and now let's move on. Ooh, what happened? I'm sorry. So 5 users were tested so far. 100% agreed that iTrack will help motivate children. And in conclusion, this program can increase motivation and engagement. Teachers love data, administration loves data, our education system loves data. This program would generate the data, and it would decrease interruptions during small group and allows for differentiation. Obviously, I want to build out like a mobile app that the kids could use. Also, user testing, the student interface with actual kids, build out the reports feature, and how would a teacher interface look for teacher managing more than one class or teachers sharing classes. And that's it. Thank you.